Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Early. I have some things, some thoughts that cross my mind, and I'd like to share them with you so that you can help prepare the future as we go into it together. You know, we were talking about some of the decisions that have been made most recently by our jurists, by the Supreme Court, especially when it comes down to abortion Roe versus Wade. You know, that's been a issue for quite some time. I remember the time before back in the earlier days when they were trying to maintain that abortion was illegal and or wrong, or and then illegal, and they fought, and then one side won, the other lost, and they've been planning the recome ever since, and reasons that justify both actions still exist, and they haven't dissipated. And now the switch has been made by gentlemen who said that they would not be making these kinds of switches. In other words, they deceived the public, and now they are doing what most of the public, or at least that portion of the public, had been resisting. So you ask yourselves, if these guys can fib or lie, and to get power or to get in a position that they can exercise some power, then why should others who they will be judging who've tried the same practice be judged by these guys? I mean, is justice to be provided there? Is there any way justice can be provided in a situation like that? So the people must know, all of us, we must know that this is a misfit. It is definitely a misfit, and only we, the people, can fix this thing. It doesn't make any sense for that to just exist. I mean, you got a liar that's a known liar, and you're sitting there putting your faith and your trust and responsibilities in what you know is messed up. No, no. The people would be subjected to lunacies of this sort. I mean, it's one thing if you've been lied to and didn't know it. You just been deceived. But to be lied to and you know it's a lie, that means you become a participant, one who has said that lying is okay. Well, I would personally suggest that the Supreme Court, if you want to have a decent society, you can't let someone just lie to you and then come up you and make it obvious in your face that they tricked you, that they lied to you, and now they're doing what they're doing. You can't do anything about it. He 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 he. What kind of society is that? Now, let's think about it. McConnell, the United States Senate, when they were in the majority, they made decisions that when it comes down to the president having the privilege of appointing who would join the Supreme Court, that they would follow a basic type of principle. Now, I'm not going to try to describe it to you right now, but they made a decision that is what they were going to do. In each turn, during these last three nominees, or now on the jurist, violated everything that they said they were going to do it. So the Democrats who could have had a chance to put somebody on, you don't know how these jurors going to act. You know, they might lie like we just see they did this time. But at least the other party would have had a chance to do just by following basic principles. And then these guys switch and don't follow the principles that they determined were going to be. And then do that in the American people's face and say, we've done it. He. What you going to do about it? And we sit back. Why? Because some of the people support it and the rest of them don't. But what can you do about it when you got a divided system like that, when you got divided compassion like that, when you got people not caring about one another, when you got people who do not have any any feelings? I ask you, my friends, I ask you, I heard Miss Cheney, a lady I think would be a very good candidate for the Republican Party as president of the United States in 24. I mean, she's about the only one that you can. Well, she's not, because there's Kaczynski, and that's what gets me. Kaczynski. That's all. What I'm always mispronouncing his name. Anyway, they are the only two people who really got some decency that stands up in power. You know, people who are out there up front. Now, I'm sure there are other people who are not connected with government, Republicans, who detest what's going on. You might not know it because they're so silent, but I'm sure that there are others. These two, a vice president, president for the Republican Party. Now, you know, I'm not trying to sell them, but I'm just saying they are decent amongst the rest of the Republicans. And so when she was at this meeting the other day, I think it had to do something with Reagan Republicans or something like that, and she made this presentation speech, and as she was making this speech, she got to a part of it that said that a decision was going to have to be made. The Republicans were going to have to choose between Trump and the Constitution. They are diabolically against one another, and that a Republican, as a Republican in government in the United States of America, and there you can't serve them both. It's one or the other. If you go with Trump, you're totally against the Constitution. And if you're with the Constitution, you're totally against Trump, based upon the presentation of Trump. And she got a standing ovation right there. The people just stopped and applauded her right there. Now to that, and I totally agree, but I also say you can't be loyal to righteousness and evil. That's the same thing. You cannot be righteous and evil. You have to choose. Either you're righteous or you're evil. And here's a typical example. When you are not doing the righteous thing, you leave yourself vulnerable. The reason that Donald Trump was able to come through all of this stuff and for all of this period of time is because you left yourselves vulnerable. What I mean by that, you left yourselves where you didn't protect some people. See, you have to protect everybody. Your rules and regulations, your system must be designed in such a way that everybody's covered. It's like insurance, making sure that everybody's covered. If you just say we're going to cover this part and don't cover this part is going to get messed over. And when it's getting messed over, it's going to cause some problems because now they figure nobody cares. There's no feeling. So, and there really isn't for you to say you don't matter because we didn't cover you. Well, you're going to bring about some animosity. And out of all of that stuff comes everything that exists to a Donald Trump because you didn't cover yourself. No, we know that. So when you start talking about redress, make sure that you cover yourself. If you're going to have some insurance on anybody, make sure you got insurance on everybody because it's going to cost the same thing to put them away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to leave that with you, and I want you to realize this. Everything, every resource that we use to do all of the things that we do were given to us free. We didn't cost us or one thing. Human race, human beings, it's just stuff that came with earth, given to us to use as we see fit. And we see all kind of fits. All of us got something that comes through our mind that gives us some generational things to do. And we come here because we come with the gift that we can contribute in the process of causing a manifestation of these things and in such an abundance that no one would have to be left out with any of these things. And it's a joy because we're doing what we came on the earth to do. And we got peace and prosperity and freedom and joy, dreams fulfilled, needs, wants, and desires met. And we don't have to lie, cheat, steal, do all that other stuff that we are talking about. You can't serve Trump and the Constitution. You can't serve righteousness and evil. So make a choice, my friends. If you're not, your plan, and I will say to the conservatives, you know, I understand your philosophy, conserve. But if your conservation leaves people out while some are doing great, you just screwed. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And Democrats, you the same way. You can't escape because when you think you get power, the same thing continue to exist. So both of you need to, as Uncle Junior would say, go somewhere and sit down. Until you can make it good for everybody, you got a lot to learn. I want to leave that there. I want to thank you so very much for your time.